Jai Hind everyone, welcome back to Soldier Unplugged. Today we're going to be speaking about body language and public speaking, right? This is a very important topic because it does a vital role when you're actually communicating with anyone else, right? Now, under the body language and public speaking, we're going to be speaking about your non-verbal communication techniques, all right? Now, before we move ahead, let's have a basic introduction as to what non-verbal communication really is, right? Now, what is non-verbal communication? Non-verbal communication is nothing but the transfer of information without words. What is it? It's a transfer of information without words, right? Now I'm communicating it to you, right? But I'm also using hand gestures. I'm also using my expressions, right? I'm also using my tone, right? Now, these are something that without the actual words, that actually depict, right? Now, why is it important, right? It is important because it enhances your verbal communication, right? Firstly, if I'm using hand gestures, if I'm giving my facial expressions, if I'm happy, if I'm sad, what does it do? It enhances your verbal communication. It depicts more what you actually want to convey, right? Third, it builds confidence, right? If I'm speaking with confidence, if I'm speaking with hand gestures, if I'm actually making sure the audience is interactive, right? I'm not only engaging the audience, but also I'm building the confidence, right? Not only in you, but also the listener, right? It builds confidence in them as well, right? Regarding you. Now we just discussed the importance, right? Now let's have a detailed view into it, right? Why non-verbal communication actually matters, right? This is a statistical report, right? It's actually been prepared. Now what is this? Let me clean this, right? Now the statistics on communication, what does it say? That the impression that you make in front of everyone, it is just 7% words, 38% of the tone, and 55% of your body language, right? Even if I'm speaking something highly motivational, right? But my tone is not correct, right? I'm not using the exact tone, right? I don't have the body language in me. I'm like slouching and talking to you. Would that actually give you an impact on you? Would that actually create an impact? No, that wouldn't, right? The next is, it is key role in public speaking, right? Well, we need to ensure when you're using clarity, emotion, and your trust, right? What does it do? When you're speaking with, your non-verbal communication, right? If you're using your tactics there, what does it not only ensure you're communicating properly, but it ensures clarity, it ensures emotion, and your trust in the listeners, okay? Now, let's move ahead, okay? Key elements of non-verbal communication, right? Now, we discussed about what non-verbal communication is. Now, let's discuss the key elements of it, right? The body posture we discussed, right? The body posture really matters a lot, right? You need to ensure that you're standing up straight, standing confidently, right? Face straight and speaking into it. You're not looking anywhere else and talking, you're not slouching, you're not keeping your hand like this and talking, right? Body structure is really necessary, okay? The next is your facial expressions, right? If I'm speaking like this, right? Would this make a class more interactive? No. But if I speak like this, right, which I wasn't, now you understand what actually the difference is if I'm actually using facial expressions and my body posture. Just with a little bit of smile, the audience is more engaged, right? Just a little bit of more postures and your body posture is correct and, a little bit of hand gestures and the eye contact, which is actually the next point, it actually creates a way more impact, right? The gestures, as we just spoke, right? The hand gestures also play a vital role, right? And the movement. As we actually just speaking, the movement of hands, the movement of your eyes, the movement of your body, right? It needs to be a proper, it needs to be in a confident way, right? I shouldn't be moving like, right? Now this actually creates a difference, right? If I'm speaking confidently, if I'm speaking to you with a nice smile, if I'm speaking to you with having an eye contact, right? With the hand gestures I am using, right? With a crisp movement in them, right? Now what is it? These are the key elements of your non-verbal communication, right? This not only makes your communication more better, but builds confidence in the person who is listening to you, all right? Now, for body posture, right? What to do? Now, you might have this question, sir. We know that body posture is really important, but what do we actually do? We are not really sure what exact body posture do we maintain, right? It's right here on your screen. Stand upright but relaxed, right? You're making sure you're standing upright, right? Straight and standing nice and upright. Shows your confidence. but not stiffed, which is your second point, right? You need to ensure that you're not stiff, right? You need to be relaxed, right? Your body needs to be moving, right? If I'm still stiff and if I'm just talking to you like this, as students, today we're going to be discussing about body postures and non-verbal communication. This is a stiff body, right? Now, what does it show? It shows lack of confidence, right? You're probably more stiff. You're not engaging with the conversation. You're not engaging with the audience, right? Avoid slouching in a stiff posture, right? Stand upright and relaxed, right? Make sure you're standing upright like how I'm standing right now, and just be relaxed. Okay, you're speaking with the confident. You're speaking with, making sure the other person is also interactive, right? Clear? Now, what is the impact? It builds confidence and openness, right? If I'm being relaxed, if I'm asking questions, if I'm making sure that, the audience knows that, I'm relaxed, right? They would be up for asking more questions. They might be up for, giving actual feedback, right? If I'm a stiff person, if I'm just giving what I have to deliver and just moving out and not open, right, enough to actually hear something from the audience as well, the audience would not, right? Now, openness is something that you can also convey through your speeches, but also it is way more conveyed in your body posture, right? All right. Now, let's move ahead. Facial expression. Smile naturally, right? Have a natural, nice smile on your face, okay? Just a normal, decent smile, and align the expression with the content, okay? Now, for example, if I'm speaking about something that's happening, it's nice to listen about, right? Now, you would be doing with a natural smile, and you would be speaking a little more calm, right? With a nice smile on your face, right? Now, that's how actually a facial expression. Now, if I'm talking about something that's happened seriously, about an accident that actually took place, right? I would be a little more serious, right? I would not be smiling there, right? If I'm in anger, if I'm expressing my frustration, right? My facial expressions do change that, right? So you need to keep an eye on that as well, okay? Do's and don'ts. Avoid over-exaggerating or blank expressions, right? Now, if I am over-exaggerating about something, oh my God, you should have seen that accident, right? The car just went over it and, the blood spurted. Oh my God, it was so bad. I swear I couldn't stand at that moment. Oh my God, and people also were they were running all here and around. What is this? This is what? Over-exaggerating. Or a blank expression, right? Now, the example that I gave for over-exaggeration might not be the same situation, right? Be it in any situation, you need to make sure you're speaking crisp and to the point. Now, what does it show? It shows that you're speaking with confidence, you're speaking with something in your mind, right? You're not just beating around the bush, okay? Blank expressions, right? This is nothing but blank expression, right? You need to make sure that you are having a clear cut facial expression. Now we spoke about body language, and let's see what we have ahead. Okay. Now, the next we have is the eye contact. Okay. Now, why is eye contact actually important? Now, for example, this is just a camera that I'm actually speaking to as of now. But instead of the camera, if I talk like this, that students, the eye contact is really important, right? You need to ensure you're having your body posture correct as well. Facial expressions also need to be made sure of. Would that actually give you a nice way? Or would you actually connect to it? No, you wouldn't, because I'm not maintaining eye contact. I'm not looking to you here, right? Now, if I'm looking into you and talking, things actually differ. Things actually make more sense, right? Now, what is the technique is? Now, for example, you have this. For example, the first one is speed the audience, and third one is 3 to 5 seconds per person if you're in small groups. Now, for example, if you're sitting in front of 10 to 15 people, right, happens usually in group discussions, right? Now, eye contact is really necessary there. Now, for example, if you're speaking and you're addressing the group, right, you need to make sure that you have an eye contact everywhere. Now, for example, if you're speaking to a particular person, you'll have 3 to 5 seconds of eye contact there. Next, you'll go 3 to 5 seconds. Next, 3 to 5 seconds. Next, 3 to 5 seconds, right? Now, what does it do? It does not only give you the confidence that the other person is actually listening to you, it also gives them that this person is more confident and is speaking confidently, right? If I'm speaking like this and if I'm just looking somewhere else and just blinking my eyes, that gives a feeling of that he's not confident or he doesn't know what to speak about. Clear? And he's out of the space. Clear? Now, next we'll be speaking about gestures. Okay? Now, with gestures, what you need to do is use open hand gestures, right? Open hand gestures and match the gestures with your hands, right? Now, students, we need to also ensure that, we are together, right? We are not only moving forward, but also we need to make sure that we are together, right? And what did I use? I used hand gestures to actually justify what I'm speaking. Yeah. Now, avoid excessive or repetitive gestures, right? Now, if I keep using this, right, students, you need to understand gestures, body language, facial expression. If I keep doing this, now what does it show? It's a repetitive gesture, right? It becomes a habit. See, it eventually just became a habit of mine right now. But you need to make sure that you are using different gestures while actually expressing different things. Clear? All right. Now, next we have is movement. What is it? Movement, your purposeful movement, right? Now, use stage space effectively. Now, for example, there's a big stage space, right? Now, the reason I'm standing here and talking to you is because there's content towards the other slides, right? Now, for example, if it was a blank slide, right, and I needed to engage the audience. Now, if I have a stage here, I would be moving and talking, right? So, yeah, gentlemen, this is how it's actually we need to go from point A to point B, and also ensure that our troops are safe enough, right? You're also engaging, you're using the stage space nicely, and what are you doing? You are engaging the confidence of the listeners as well, right? Move to emphasize points, right? Now, for example, now there's a little congested space, but you need to move also to emphasize your points. Clear? Next is avoid pacing or standing still for too long. If I stand still for too long, audience gets bored. Trust me on that. But if you keep moving, right, the audience eye is also moving with you, right, from one part to another. Now, what does this actually do is it actually catches their attention and it creates them to actually, they listen to you more often and more effectively, I'd say. Clear? All right. Moving forward, tone and voice modulation. Okay. Techniques. Vary your pitch and pace, right? Now, you see, whenever I'm speaking to you, there's a variation in my pitch. There's a variation in my pace, right? I might be talking sometimes faster, I might be talking sometimes slow, right? And I pause for emphasis, right? Now, this is really important when you're actually speaking with or you're addressing someone, right? This is really important to grab attention as well as to make sure they are actually effectively listening to you, right? Because if I just keep going on, okay, yeah, students, today's techniques, varies pace is one of the points that we need to remember. We also need to remember the pause for the emphasis and impact holds audience for attention. Now just move ahead. Did that actually create an impact on you? Did you actually find it interesting? Did you actually understand what I'm trying to say? No, because I just went on like a train, right? Now, the one way that we actually usually like hums is in your speeches, right? You need to make sure there's an up and down to make sure your audience is interacting and especially attentive while listening to you, okay? You need to vary your pitch, you need to vary your pace, right? And you need to pause for emphasis, right? If I'm saying I bought a car, right? And my emphasis is on the car. Even if I'm using a sentence, I bought a car yesterday. Now you saw that pause for the car word because what I'm justifying, I'm not telling I bought a car. I'm telling I bought a car yesterday, not a bike, right? So what are we emphasizing? We're emphasizing on the word car. Clear? That's how you'll be actually using this, okay? What is the impact? As I just mentioned, it holds the audience attention. Clear? All right. Now, audience engagement, right? Mirror the audience body language, right? Now, what does it do? This actually involves the audience with you, right? If the audience is, I use this usually. Now, for example, when someone is, nodding with you, you also nod with them, right? Now, you understand what I'm saying? Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about, right? Now, okay, looks like you're not understanding it. It's okay. Let me explain this in a more better way. Now, what happens is the audience is more engaged. Okay, you are actually paying attention to those details, right? And you maintain what? An approachable demeanor, right? So that's why audience engagement plays an important role, and you need to ensure these points while actually addressing your audience. Clear? All right. Now, let's move on to the practice techniques, okay? Now, for example, if you have a presentation to give, right? If you're giving a presentation, make sure you stop, right? Record and review your presentation. The best judge for you is you yourself, okay? Keep a phone right there, record yourself. See how you're actually performing. See if you really require any more improvements, right? Or practice in front of a mirror, right? Mirror, you are talking to yourself. Especially your brain is looking into someone who's also speaking to you, right? At the same time, you're getting a confidence on speaking when you're looking at someone who's also talking, right? It actually adds on, okay? And seek feedback from your peers, okay? Now, since you would be also be involving in your live sessions, you need to seek feedback from your peers as well, okay? Ask them, how did I do? Okay, any improvement points? And we would be actually doing this exercises, right? Not only your peers, but we would also be giving you equally feedbacks, okay? All right, common mistakes to avoid. Few, as we discussed, that overuse of gestures, right? Lack of eye contact, I also mentioned, if I'm looking there and talking to you, doesn't really make sense, right? Monotone delivery, this is a really important point, you need to ensure that. And nervous body language, right? Fidgeting, hands in your pockets, right? These are the things that you need to avoid, right? Now, for example, the nervous body language actually keeps shows, right? If I'm talking to you like this, if I'm just fidgeting with it, like something, some part of my jacket, right? If I'm fidgeting with this or talking to you, that, you need to understand that, this is really, very important. I'm fidgeting with this, right? And what does it do? It gives you a lack of confidence, right? It shows that you're not confident and you're more nervous, right? If my hands are in my pockets, that again shows what? Nervousness, okay? So these are the things that you need to avoid. Clear? Now, final tips to success, right? Stay relaxed and confident, right? Make sure you are relaxed, right? You're speaking with calmness, right? You're very relaxed. You're thinking before you speak. You're maintaining good breath. Even if you're thinking you're getting anxious, if you're thinking you're getting nervous, take a deep breath and continue. Okay? There's no harm, right? The audience also knows standing in front of 30, 40 people is a big deal, right? But I also recommend do not do it in between of the show. Do it before the show, right? Take a breath, relax, let your mind open, speak honestly, okay? Dress appropriately for the occasion, right? If it's a meeting, make sure you're dressing appropriately. That gives you the confidence, right? And especially when I am, in a proper, let's say, the uniform or, the dress that I need to wear for a meeting, that gives me a different set of confidence, right? I'm walking more confidently. I know that I'm going to be delivering a lecture, right? Things work differently, especially the outfit that you're wearing adds on to your confidence, right? And always remember, practice makes perfect, okay? I'd say we'll remove the word perfect and we'll put it better, right? Because there's nothing as such perfect, right? It's always better, right? The more you practice, the more better you get, okay? First of all, understand there's nothing called as perfect. Whatever you are, you're the best. You just need to make sure that you are improving, okay? Perfect? All right, let's move ahead, okay? Now, since we have finished the content for today, let's move ahead to the words learned today. Quite simple words for you again today, but you need to make sure that you're using this during your conversations, okay? First one is challenge, right? What is the meaning? Meaning is a difficult task or an obstacle. Simple, right? Climbing the mountain was the biggest challenge of his life. What is it? Climbing the mountain was the biggest challenge of his life. Clear? Diverse, right? Varied or different. The city has a diverse population of people. What are we talking about? We're talking about varied or very different kind of people. India is a diverse country, right? India has a diverse population, right? Engage, right? The word engage, what's the meaning? The meaning is to participate or become involved, right? Engage, right? Usage kya hai? The teacher tried to engage the students with interesting what? Interesting topics, right? The teacher tried to engage the students with interesting topics. So these words, right? Engage, diverse, challenge, you need to make sure that you're trying to use it in your daily life, right? Now, for example, if you're handling a patient who is physically challenged, right? You also need to understand that it's a challenge for him to get up from his chair, right? That's how you will be conveying your thing, right? I understand it might be a challenge for you to get up from your chair, but let me see what I can do for you, right? Only if you actually try to get up, the more lesser challenging it gets, right? It might look simple words to you here, but the way you use it actually matters a lot in your life, right? So make sure of that, all right? Now, let's move ahead. Next word we have is expand, right? To increase in size and shape, or the increase in scope, right? The company plans to expand its new markets next year. What does it do? The company plans to expand its into new markets next year, right? Indicate, to show or point out. The signs indicate the direction to the path. Now, for example, if you're planning, okay, as I mentioned about the doctor itself, right? Now, could you indicate where exactly it's hurting, or could you show me where exactly it's hurting, right? It's a different word, indicate, right? Could you indicate where the light is if you're referring to a patient, who is physically challenged or mentally challenged, right? You would use certain terminologies, okay? So that's the students. We have discussed 5 words today, right? So maintain the body posture whenever you're speaking to anyone, right? Be it in any profession, be it a doctor, be it a professor, be it a IT professional, a manager, any sort of thing, right? If you have a body posture, if you're speaking with confidence, people will be ready to listen to you and you will sail your way, okay? So keep watching the videos and I'll watch you in the next class. I'll see you in the next class. Until then, Jai Hind.